Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back for some more EVE Online. Welcome back also to JITA, the largest trade hub in EVE Online, because in today's video I want to talk a little bit about the market changes that CCP has introduced into EVE Online with the March release. The update at the time of recording has only been out for like maybe half a day or something like that, couple of hours. So it's all pretty new and we might see some interesting consequences of all of these trade changes when it comes to trade in EVE Online in general. Now, before we get started on that, you can see I brought my Frontier Safeguard shirts to JITA. If you donated during the Plagues for Good drive for the bushfires in Australia, you should have those in the redeemable items. So don't forget them. I think all of those do have like a pretty long but a timer to them as well. I myself am going to move that to my skins and stuff container. That's a container where I just keep all of these apparel, vanity items, fireworks, also corpses that I find along my play sessions, and then a lot of skins that I've gathered over the years of playing EVE Online. This is just, you know, my little collection container where I put all that kind of stuff in. Moving on to the changes in EVE Online when it comes to trade, I think it's alright to start with the skills, because you can see that I'm training a new skill here, Advanced Broker Relations. Now, not everyone is going to start at 0 skill points in that skill, because it has replaced the margin trading skill. That skill allowed you to basically put up a buy order without having all of the ISK for that buy order in your wallet. A lot of traders found this to be a very useful skill, especially to get started in their trading careers, because it basically allows you to do larger and riskier trades without necessarily having all of that collateral available. On the other hand, it had one big disadvantage. It allowed for the margin trade scam. The way it was usually done is that someone would list some items that are almost not traded in EVE Online for probably a decent price or even a decently high price. And then at the same time, maybe a couple jumps out or in another trade hub, they would put up a buy order for the exact same item. Usually they would also use the same volumes and then at a much higher price. But they would use the margin trade skill in order to have basically an empty wallet that would be attached, or a wallet that's too low that was attached to that buy order. And as a result, someone who did not know about the scam might see this opportunity and see, all right, I can buy an item for 500 million ISK in JITA, and here in Dodixie, someone is buying these for 1.2 billion, and it happens to be the exact same volumes. That's the chance of a lifetime. I'm gonna buy all of that, move it to Dodixie, and double my money. Unfortunately, once they got to Dodixie and they tried to sell the item, the buy order that they give would bounce off of that wallet, and they would basically be stuck with a sell order on the market. They would be stuck with that item, and it would be very annoying and very difficult to get rid of. And so this change, on the one hand, it is going to make it harder for new players and new prospective traders to make their way into EVE Online and to basically push and hit above their weight using that skill. On the other hand, of course, for newer players that don't know too much about EVE Online and a potential margin trade scam, that one is now completely gone from the game. So what does this new skill do then? I'm gonna click on show info. It's the proficiency at negotiating the brokerage cost of relisting a market order at a new price. Each level of the skill adds 5% points to the standard release discount of 50%, so you can go from 50 to 75% if you fully train this skill. Now I'm skilling this up from 0 to full. Why? Because I was never really that big of a trader, let alone a gambler that is going to try and put up a buy order where it doesn't have the ISK for it. So I never found any real use for me personally for the margin trade skill, and this, of course, I do release items from time to time, so this one does make sense, and so I am going to completely train this one at this point. Which brings us to, of course, the first actual change on the market. Relisting an item will now have an extra cost involved with it, so let's take a quick look at that if I can. Here's my market window. If I look at my market orders, I've been lapsing everything a little bit because of the Ward like I haven't been making so much stuff, also because of the massive jump in mineral prices. I've been scoping things out before committing to more, but I still have 40 sell orders ready out of 65. Now you can clearly see here the problem for me has always been with Amar. Stuff just doesn't move very quickly there. Same with Dital. Most of these sell orders are still open in Amar. Here in Jita we still have a couple, and so we could take a look at that relisting fee maybe with one of these items, although everything is pretty cheap, nothing above $1 million, so it's really all of that baseline industry that is still up for sale. Let's take a look at this one, for instance, the largest sell order when it comes to price. Energized adaptive nanomembranes, 2 out of 10 remaining, 399,000 disk is the sell price. And if I look at the market details, ouch, they are now selling for 187,000 disk. That's quite a drop on the price history. You can see that that's exactly what happened. I was able to sell 8 out of 10 of these for 400,000 disk, or just below that, and look at that price crash since then. That is of course not good news. Still, I want to get rid of this, and as a result I also am going to do that relist experiment. So what I can do is right click and press modify order. Ooh, I'm actually going to take a quick look, where do I want to relist it to? I'll take like 185 or something like that. So market orders again, let's do modify my order, and I said I want to do 185,000 ISK, like that. You can see my total charge goes down, but the broker's fee is 6,400 ISK on 2 items for 185,000. That is, you know, I think significantly expensive at this point. The main aim here is of course to combat bots who can relist at like the very second and 0.1 everything down. And so here we have this extra cost, which will then decrease probably by another 50% if I fully train that new skill, which I'm training right now, the advanced broker relation skill. Another thing that we can experiment, or well, I'm gonna just do that one and press OK, see what happens. So it's down to 185,000 ISK. If I press view market details again, we've jumped to the top of the line as expected. And then in my wallet, do I find something like transactions? There it goes. The broker's fee of 6,400 ISK is payable right off the bat. You can imagine if you have to relist an item 10 times, that costs 180,000 ISK at this point, and it's 6,400 ISK every single time. That becomes very expensive very quickly. Definitely a change that could, I think, impact the velocity of ISK and of trading in the game quite substantially. Another thing that has changed is that you could no longer put up sell prices or change sell prices with more than 5 numbers on every price. So that means, for instance, another one that we are trying to sell here is heavy neutron blasters. I've got 8 out of 10 left, and we started at 199,000 ISK. Let's take a look at the market right here. It goes down to 172,000, so it's not that bad, but you can clearly see that we've been undercut quite a bit. Someone else matched my price, and then here we go to 12 cents below the price, and then here someone else went with a crazy price as well. Maybe there's been 0.1 competition in between all of these that have been bought and sold at the meantime. You can clearly see that it can make it very disruptive if a bot can just 0.1 everything by scanning the market and then continuously doing that. It's going to be super expensive because of the fee, and it's also not going to work anymore. If I look at the market details, we're crashing in price. This, despite the fact that mills have gone up so much, is kind of weird, but here we are. Markets aren't always that logical. And what I want to try to do with this one is to modify this order, and then we're gonna try to play the annoying bot. So you can see 172,000 is the lowest order, and I would want to modify that now to 171,999.99. And so this was the behavior before. Now again, take a look at that. Broker's fee 23,800 ISK. That's quite substantial, of course, so we're not gonna play around too much with this. But if I press OK on this, before the patch this was possible. Let's see how the system responds with that. Let's press OK. Oh, it just changed it automatically. That's very dangerous, honestly. CCP, I thought we'd get like a warning or something like that. I would tell you, look out. This is This is this is a price that's set to too high a detail. You can only do the 4 first numbers, and we are going to set it at that price. Nope, it just goes straight through 172,000, and rather than undercutting this price order, I'm now matching this price order. And of course, if I would then realize my mistake, let's say that I realized my mistake and I would want to really undercut them to give myself the best chance of selling, what I would have to do is go for 171,900. I'm going to do that just for the sake of this video, just to show you guys. This is 4 numbers and then 00 after that, so that should be fine. If I now press OK, cannot modify. Oh, God damn it. Well, all right, that's a broker's fee that I've saved, because you can only change them every 5 minutes, it would seem. All right, also something maybe to help combat the bots, but this I think already gives you an idea. We've got the broker's fee to pay, and you can no longer just change these prices to the 0.01 ISK on every single item. Let's also take a quick look at this then, view market details. Here is the Nemesis market. And if I take a look at what are we gonna do here, I need to check at what price I bought my Nemesis before I try to sell them. So let's see here. Nemesis, are they on the ticker? Yeah, so I bought these 5 Nemesis ships for 18.75 million ISK, so that must have been somewhere on this downturn. So definitely at the right time. Normally I would wait for a breakout to like 30 million. You can see it happens from time to time, but here again, for the sake of the video, what I want to do is take a look at all of that as well, because with a larger number like 26 million ISK, it's going to be a lot more noticeable that the competition will take a completely different aspect. So normally what you would quite often see is, which we still see on these older orders, they would go for 27.2 million. You'd think, okay, reasonable price. Next price, 26,199,895 ISK. So that's like such a ridiculously small difference that, you know, this is something I think in regular markets it exists as well. And then look at that down here. It undercuts that one by like 3 ISK and 57 cents. And that's for another 4 of them. And so you can see up here all of these recent orders, except for this one is still on the old system because it could do a 999. Now it's 25,990. And I think someone tried to undercut. I think there might even be some bots that are bumping up against this problem now, that are relisting at the exact same price. So if we really want to now try to sell these, which I'll try to do, and I'll be happy with, let's say, sell, let's say that I'll be happy with 25.5 million. Let's do that. 25,500, 1, 2, 3. 3 months, that seems fine. Just gonna check if everything is okay. So we get the broker's fee to pay, the sales tax to pay, all of that. Well, we're gonna just take it for this video. I still need to work on my reputation, by the way, with the Caldari Navy. I still have a lot to do to become a real trader in EVE Online, but this is all the work, and I should have the lowest sell order at this point. And I think here people will really have to commit a lot more when it comes to trying to sell or trying to compete with me at this point, because what you don't want to have to do, let's quickly add my texts. So buying for this and then selling for 25.5 million. I'd say that that's still a decent profit. Not as much as I could have taken, but that's okay. And then I put that in the trying to sell. And here we go. That is that. But if I want to do modify order at this point, which it's again going to give me the 5-minute timer, of course, but look at that. Relisting these is immediately costing me 1.7, almost 1.8 million ISK, and that's starting to be pretty significant. You will not just keep bumping your 77 Nemesis and bump them 1 ISK again and again and again, or even the lowest amount here, which is 100,000 ISK, I think. No, it's 10,000 ISK, yeah. You're not just going to indefinitely keep doing that in order to eke out every single ISK out of that potential trade. We'll, I think, see far more aggressive undercutting, but potentially also orders that will last a little bit longer before all that competition comes in. And so I basically think that I've got a decent chance to sell these at 25.5 million. We'll see how it works out, of course. And yeah, just note that if someone wants to sell below my price, they have to sell for 25,490,000 ISK at the highest possible. So definitely a very significant change here as well. This is gonna change the look, I think, of ETH quite substantially, and I also wonder what the impact is going to be on these daily averages. Will we see like a smoother move? Because sometimes you can clearly see that they can move like a tiny little bit as well. So I'm really curious to see how all of that is going to impact ETH and trade in general in EVE Online. If I'm not mistaken, there are some ships that have very weird, no, it was not, I think on the Crow, nope, not here either. Okay, woo. What the hell happened with the Crow? Starts at 27.5 million. Accidental spoiler for ETH, but the Crow just jumped to 40 million ISK. And if I'm not mistaken, last week in ETH I said that maybe you could look into buying the Crows because we were substantially below 25 million. Now, of course, for the buy prices. So, or no, we were getting there. Not exactly sure what it was anymore, but Jesus Christ, that's a surprisingly strong performance. 1 year high point all of a sudden for the Crow. What I was actually looking for is there are some ships where every single data point on the daily averages is the exact same price again and again and again. And I think that could be when competition is just always 0.1 ISK. And there's massive volumes trying to compete around that very same price. I wonder if that is also going to change when it comes to how it is displayed on these graphics. But I think that, yeah, we've been going on for long enough. I hope that this can help some people that, you know, that didn't know about these trade changes to see what's happening on the market, or to understand what's happening on the market. I would say again, advanced broker relations definitely becomes a worthy skill to train at this point, even if you don't take risks with your trade, which you could with margin trading. Be very careful when it comes to relisting items. You just saw relisting those Nemesis would become very expensive very quickly. And of course, also when you are setting up an item, remember the remember, let's say that I still want to sell this one here, view market details. Not that great in price, but all right, 39.99. Let's do sell this item. Remember that when you make a mistake, when you do this 9.9, and then you would like 3.99, 89.999, that the system will not give you a warning. This would immediately result in another sell order at 39.990, because the system will just automatically take the closest number, not even the one below what you set, but just the closest number to what you put in. This is going to be very annoying, I think, for people that have been used to that 0.1ing all the time, and especially to the bots, of course, which is a big part as to why all of these changes are coming to the game. So we're not gonna do that. I'm definitely gonna wait for better times for the C-type medium shield boosters, but very, very interesting times, and I look forward to making ETH Talk this week. It could be very interesting. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.